like, you should talk to this person, and so we got to know each other really well and chatted all the time through that medium. And then he's even been so kind to go on record, I believe, saying him and his buddy Cameron Garrity started their own puppet podcast called Puppet Tears.
Oh.
Tears. Yeah, which sounds sad because there is like a little tear on it.
Is it
but
not?
It's like happy stuff. It's not sad.
Oh.
It was a play on words. They just Puppet Tears. And I have a little screen share of it. So we ended up doing a lot of collabs.
I thought that was going to be a
when they
podcast
started
where
their
celebrities come on
podcast.
and talk
So
about.
here's like a screenshot of this is Adam posted this ages
Wow.
of 2020. Okay, this is 2020.
That's 2020.
When we did, okay, so 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Coming up on 5 years ago. Him and Cameron. Yeah. So this was during COVID, I think. Yeah, it had to be April 2020.
Yeah.
So we did this big collab of like
When
the two puppet podcasts talking, and we had a lot of guest people. Noel McNeil, famous Bear in the Big Blue House.
Yeah.
James Hotel, another phenomenal puppet builder. And this screenshot of whatever I'm doing there, who knows?
That's
and
me in any
Dan.
screenshot.
So we did a lot of collabs like that over the years, and then Adam started doing his own puppet camp and was teaching kids how to build puppets. He had this whole like 5-week course fully set down. He was such a beautiful, because this is about Adam. I mean, he was such a beautiful artistic soul, and puppets was like a big passion of his. And his YouTube channel, go to Puppet Nerd, subscribe to it still. He's got amazing tutorials to teach you how to build a puppet step by step. And he's also really beautiful art. Like, he was an artist. We also bonded. He was a magician. He used to he was like a really good close-up magician.
Oh man.
Just could not have been, and had just the most amazing shock of like silver white.
I know.
I was so jealous of his hair, always. It's just gorgeous.
No, he truly loved teaching. Like, that was the one thing that was like a very consistent passion.
Exactly, and he was very kind of to ask me to be a guest teacher for some of his puppet camps.
Yeah.
He would tend to brought me in for the voice part. Because then they would build a character, and then it's like, all right, now let's learn how to perform them. Let's give your character a voice. And so I would get brought in for the voice part. And start working with all the kids and their little puppets and learn all the character, what their names were, what their personalities were, and talk to them. And then discover
so cool.
like building that of like, well, not too dissimilar to the sides. Like, I designed this, and this is his name is Jimmy, and he loves pizza, and all of these little things that they're saying, and he gets really sad, but he's scared of his shadow and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like really fun little things, and talking to them and working with them on like, great, like, so if he's really scared of his shadow, what would that do to him? And he was like, you'd be really nervous. And I was like, yeah. And then maybe he'd be a little scared, he would shake. I was like, yeah. And then what does that look like when he's scared? And then so walking them through that, like walking him through if he's scared, he would shake. Great, what would that look like? And then him taking the puppet and like shaking it. I was like, that's the kind of stuff. And then if he was nervous, how would he say hi? And they'd be like, I was like, perfect.
That's so fun.
That's the voice. That's the voice for him right there.
This was up in
so that's what I kind of did with some of his puppet camp stuff.
This was in Texas where he was at, or was this in New York?
This was remote. I mean, no, because he was up in New York, and so this was all online. He opened his puppet camp online, so there was kids from all over the country.
How cool is that?
Yeah, it was really, really cool. And he created this custom kit. Like, they got sent when they'd sign up for the class, sign up for the workshop or the camp. They got sent a whole box of everything they need. Everything they need to step, and then he would be with them every step of the way to build the character, and then by the end, they would perform it and they'd film it.
Oh, that's so
cool. So yeah, it was a really, really cool thing.
Yeah.
And that's just, again, passion, like a thing that he just loved teaching, loved kids, loved his kids. I mean, he was just, could not have been a nicer, more giving, talented individual. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that I got to know him and work with him on so many different things. And
Same.
I'm so grateful that he could put us together on bringing your stories to life and those characters to life. It was Yeah, I think it was a really beautiful thing. And like I said, not even just because I was a part of it. Having not watched it in a while, I watched it like cold, right? And I was
Yeah.
like, God, this is still so funny. I have to play my favorite joke. I have to find it. I think you probably
Wait,
know.
I think I have a guess as to what it is.
It's my favorite moment of when Roman's getting upset.
You mean that I am not down to do this? You are correct.
What?
Oh, big surprise coming from No Funs and Honeydew.
So many good
Second
puns.
edition there. And it stuck the landing.
So that was a good one. We did the snap. And do you remember this moment?
I
We're
do.
Like, how are we going to get him to
The
snap?
snap
I
was-
I was like, well, Thomas, we're not going to be able to actually have him snap. I think we talked, it was like, we could do like a quick cutaway and like almost do like one of these, but I think I'm just going to hide it underneath the frame and just do this moment. And you're
Oh,
going to buy it.
yeah.
And you're like, okay, let's try that. And you're like, oh, that looks good. You're like, yeah, that looks like he snaps because he's not
Yeah,
actually snapping.
was my initial idea to just like, because the fingers were bendable, was my initial idea
the
was
fingers
to...
are posable. Yeah, well, because
was
I
to
remember
put
that
the
vividly
fingers
because we were
together?
like, okay, he snaps there. So how are we? And you were like, how are we going to get him to snap?
I'm such a doofus sometimes.
No, you're not a doofus. That's just how you're like, this is what I did. He snaps in this moment. How are we going to do the snap?
So silly.
Wait, this was way before Thanos.
Yeah.
How are we going to do this?
No, it... Oh. I
But
guess it
again,
was.
that's such a simple little thing that you can go, well, how are we going? And there would have been a way that we did just a close up.
Oh, yes.
And almost did like a stop motion version of it. Going click, 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 click. Like we could have done that.
This is
but I
where
was
you
like,
get like the
It's
the-
just going to be so much easier if we just.
yeah, the cloth Muppet gloves, like us, like Cookie Monster has, and you do that.
Oh yeah, that exactly. I was like, yeah, I think we might have talked about it. I was like, if Roman had live hands, then we
Like
totally
the
that
Swedish
could have
chef.
been hilarious. We could have been like, Adam, ship us some live hands real quick, just for this one moment. We need to cut to all of a sudden Roman has live hands.
Like, isn't
Aw,
this
Logan, come on! We need you at the table if we're gonna be learning. Please, it has become quite clear
And
that
I remember you laughed so hard because I was every time he was doing, I would just
Oh
make
my
him
gosh.
do these little dances,
You would
and you're like,
do-
stop it, it's too cute.
you would do things with Patton, these
we're
little
gonna be
gestures
learning.
and
'Cause
dances.
I would hear that, and it was like, that just feels like what he's doing.
It was so good. It was so good.
It was just so well. Again, like I said, it comes from good writing, and like you gave me such good inspirado to hear it, and like it's exactly what he's doing at that moment. I just think it
me co-signing all of
That's
your ridiculous
incredible.
antics is just a formality. When all of you decided on using puppets to address a serious issue, logic was already figuratively thrown out the window. Again, you don't have to use the word figuratively. We know
There's
that you
Thomas
weren't
talking
literally
so
thrown
fast.
out of a window. How? Have you been watching me constantly? Don't assume, Roman. You know what happens when you assume. You make an ass out of Sue and me. Thank you, Patton. I just don't want to concern anybody by suggesting I was thrown through a window. I wanted to communicate 5 by 5 that I'm
think it's
5 by
coming up
5.
pretty soon.
It's okay, Roman. His intentions are there. I mean, who does going above and beyond with clarity hurt? Going above and beyond. More like going overboard. It's stupid. Ah! Ow! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! You hit me in the eye! You hit me in the eye! You freaking book germ! Jeez, Al, that was pretty rough. I'm sorry. I don't know what that was.
all of all these little looks
Maybe I
that we were
should go.
doing.
No! We are not about to leave it there, mister. We can't continue
funny.
this convo. If you're gonzo. That's right,
little-
Logan.
little
You
boy.
can be like one of those Sesame Street
Gestures.
Schumann friends. Like Maria? Like Maria.
Dude, I
I mean,
kid you not, anytime I hear Maria, I go, like Maria. I do, I say that in life. I'm not even kidding.
a more accurate comparison would be that you're our big bird and we're all your
Snuffleupagoats.
Snuffleupagoats. Pre-1985, before they canonically confirmed that Snuffleupagus wasn't imaginary. Of course.
I hope this is on your, actually.
Uh,
Snuffleupagus imaginary, like, actually, pre-1985, where he was canonically, you
Yeah.
do it exactly like that.
we should have had more puppet related questions in our episode.
Clarity. Okay, so
Yeah.
your puppets. Care
we
to
go.
explain to me how this is going to help? Well, we could start by having an open and honest conversation about our feelings.
That's the Kermit.
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't like that. I'd rather go live in a garbage can. No, really, this is important, guys. Thomas, you have to face your feelings head on. Tell me, do you ever feel
So funny.
I thought we were talking about a loop. Well, how do you suppose we get out of the loop, Mr. Looper? Well, I guess I don't know.
Mr. Looper.
But I mean, like, what do I have to feel bad about? I mean, really, like, yeah, I feel iffy with my videos. So what?
Again, this is that balance that we're talking about. It's like
the problems
really smart
I have
and
wouldn't even
sweet.
exist without all of the incredible privileges
those jokes
I've
in there?
received. What? Exactly. Boom. Look,
this is
if
it.
you
Oh, this
fix
is
the
it.
problem. Well, Logan's got to cool it with the deadlines. What? Oh, thank you. Too much pressure. Oh, I'm sorry. Except I'm not. Are the deadlines really the cause of that pressure, or
favorite
is
joke
it?
coming up.
I don't know. Roman's inability to perform adequately. No, well, it's a little of that. What? Exactly. Boom. Look, dude, doesn't it make sense
There
to
was
think
lots
you
of
have
good-
something to
So
do with
many
this?
gestures
The issue
there.
has to do with creating content and his pride. That's a lot of you. Well, pardon me. Vomity Central. But when were either of you the experts on creative content? Who are you to criticize my work? Oh my gosh, what is up your butt? An arm. Okay, I think it's
That's
clear
the moment.
that pointing fingers
I called it.
is
I
no
knew
way.
that was your favorite joke.
So let's avoid that.
So that's the moment we said we bent his fingers like that to make a fist.
Yes.
And you're holding the other hand at that moment, an arm, and then look at it, and then that, bring it in, just that on that sigh. It's so, but yeah, what's up
That's
your
so-
butt? An arm. It's, I mean,
I
come on,
knew
it's
that
right
was going to be
there.
your favorite joke. I
It's
called
still
that.
good. It's still good. It's still so good. Yes, please. It's.
There was so
if you
many
have
in there
not
that-
seen this
that-
video. Go watch this video.
It was
so
a
good.
lot of fun. There was so many of those character-related puns that I wanted included in there.
Oh, I bet.
Because I can't remember. I don't know if Joan
I can't
was.
remember. I can't imagine what was on the writers' room floor of like, nah, not that one, not that one.
We pretty much
Lots of
kept
good ones.
a lot in there.
Strong.
Yeah, there was. I knew I wanted Maria mentioned. I knew I wanted to mention like do a pun on Mr. Hooper. And there was just so many that I. It's like it was
We're like calling them Schumann friends.
It was such a playground.
So funny, the Snuffleupagoats.
That was a Joan. Joan did that one.
So good. I mean, you guys are like peas in a pod, and you guys know how to like write for each other.
Yes, I love
so well.
them.
So then we just showed that Roman bit. This is the behind the scenes shot of, so everybody could see that Roman shot of me and Thomas
yeah.
and Joan. I'll make this a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Feeling I have
Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is just a. So he's just
it's
like
so
does
cool.
not want to talk about his feelings.
Yeah.
And it's like a lean back.
And that's how it would be. Like you were.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we did. You would play the clip, and then I would go, maybe like this, and you're like, yes, or you're like, oh my god, that's what. You're like, you were like, it was such a great. It was so good to have you like right there, because one, we could see there's a monitor, so we can see what Roman looks like in the shot.
Yeah.
And right next to it is the laptop with the thing that you previously shot.
Yeah.
And so we're watching that. All right, now we're gonna shoot this little bit, and you would just back it up, and we'd play it a couple times so I could get the time, especially if it was a long one.
Yeah.
I could get the timing of the line.
Yeah.
And then we did it a couple times, but we would try maybe like this, and you're like, yeah, for any of those like reactions and stuff like that, I would just throw something out there, and you would be like, yeah. And this is a fun moment behind the scenes because you were funny. You were like, you really get Roman, and then I just started to like do Roman as you next to you, and that's what happens here.
It was perfect.
That's good. I like that. I don't think you have to lip sync to this one either.
See, he was tight, so we just started. And I was like,
looking
oh, gotta get my hand.
So Patton is the one that just said this.
And that was important too, because I was like, okay, so where is he looking?
Yeah.
He's talking to so and so.
It might not be fast. It might be too fast, but maybe he's looking at Patton, right? And he
goes. Yeah. That's perfect.
And there's me, like I said, holding both hands.
That's really good.
It was wild. It was so lovely just getting to direct and then seeing the puppet like immediately do what I was thinking.
And here's
I want to see maybe if
this is there a
hand on the chin might work.
yeah.
Maybe.
Yep, and there you go, holding the other hand, like
It's more like with him though, versus him being like kind of like not into it. It looks more like
He's really into it.
Let me think about.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just the way he looks. If he does this, it looks more.
And this
like,
was the cool balance that we're saying. You're like, I wonder what it would look like with him and his hand on chin. I'm like, yeah, totally. But then it kind of see how it looks like he's the thought is different.
Yeah.
No, you got that. You're
I
right.
think just the head tilt is gonna give you more because if he does this, then he still looks like he's kind of thinking about it, and that just looks more awkward too. I think.
Yeah.
And that's only because, honestly,
subtleties. I
but like that instinct of yours going, I wonder if he was like, But because of his design and the way his chin was,
Yeah.
in order to, it didn't read as if he was going, thinking, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and
It
I
looked like, well, it didn't look, or like, well, it looked like, because his chin was so pronounced, it would look like, almost like the thinker, like, I'm thinking.
I love your innate ability to like know from a puppet's design how a gesture is going to potentially come off. Like, that was so
and that
helpful.
Comes, well, thank you. That comes with a lot of practice and,
Yeah.
and working with many different puppets and kind of having a general sense of physicality and
Right.
going, but a lot of the times it varies per puppet, right? And
Yeah.
if nothing else, I'm like, well, let me try this. And you're like, oh yeah, and we can both go, yeah, that doesn't work. That doesn't
Right,
work
right.
So let me try, what else can I do too? And that's the nice thing about having the frame, having the shot of,
Yeah.
that's why puppeteers need that, so we can see what the audience is going to see. We're seeing the final shot as
Yeah.
we're doing it, so
Yeah.
we get to dictate exactly the way we need it to look. And so that's why it was so beautiful to collaborate with you and stuff like this, and to be able to, even though we were like, we have only the day to do it,
Yeah.
we still had room
that blows my
to,
mind. We did
to
that.
play and find it out. And I think it all comes together. It all worked. Because we got
honestly,
options too. I think we did a few options.
We
and then, of
certainly
course,
did.
Surprising.
Yeah.
It's surprising how subtle you can be with a puppet that will still
It was such a.
read
It
more
was
than
so
you think. A lot
fun.
of people think you need to be.
This is what we were just talking about. It's like me giving you a little bit more. Here's Nate's coach hat on. It's like how you can be way more subtle with a puppet more than you think you need to.
Yeah. Right.
Because of even the littlest thing can make a big change in the puppet.
Yeah.
That
No,
you
yeah.
need to be, Kermit the Frog, yay, all the time
Right.
with a puppet, but it's actually less can
No,
be
I'm-
very much more.
Yeah, I'm
and
seeing
more,
a lot of that.
especially for like the humanoids. Like he's not like a monster or an animal.
Right.
He's a human being with a face, nose, eyes, everything that you're registering as a human. So
Yeah.
you want to kind of.
And like finding breaths, finding gasps and
Looks,
stuff.
you got Roman down.
Nice to be seen.
It's nice to be seen.
We'll do the intro. We'll do the intro. We'll do the
we need
intro
to
for
show
the-
you. We
we'll
need
do
to show you
intro
the
for
one
vlog.
take to Camilla. He looks at the camera. Oh yeah, you want to
Just do the intro of the
Oh,
vlog.
yeah.
We'll
This is a
pop
fun.
up.
We go into an improv scene here,
Okay.
me and you.
Nice to see you, Roman.
Well, it's nice to be seen.
He does a better Roman than me. I think we got a good replacement. In case I go into retirement.
Understudy.
Just saying.
Just understudy.
Just an understudy here.
That'd be amazing.
wouldn't
There's certain
ever
videos where I'm
replace
just
your
like,
precious Thomas.
I'm gonna be Roman today. I didn't feel like being. Thomas didn't feel like being here, so this is gonna be me. And Nate's doing all the puppeteering. I'm just sitting behind the scenes voice acting.
You're just sitting on the couch with a microphone. You have the road mic, and you're like, "Hey,
Yeah, that's something I do.
That's about right.
That's something I do.
He's always checking in. Is that right?
Thomas?
Okay. Thomas
Line.
says that was good, everybody. Line.
All right. There's a mic. I'm cueing you in. There's a a small speaker in the lamp.
That's my favorite.
Don't look at us, Thomas. Don't line. It's nice to be seen. It's what? It's nice to be seen.
It's nice to be seen.
That was good. That was good. Yeah. I think I would have done it better. What? I think I would have done it better.
I can't work like this.
Oh, it's nice to be green.
Good
I love
stuff.
it.
Good stuff.
I
Good
love it
times.
so
It
much.
was good
That was a great
times.
day. Like we were still having fun amidst all of that. Through a song. You lip sync through a song and everything. It was great.
That's right. Like if 4 different parts.
4 different
of the
parts.
song.
Well,
Yeah.
Logan.
3.
Logan didn't have to do.
Logan
any-
doesn't do the song. Logan comes in at the very end.
Honestly, thank God we only had to do a little bit of Logan near the end because the positioning you had to get into between
Yeah.
the stairs and the couch was not very accommodating.
Yeah,
for that
I think
big,
I had
big,
to lay down.
You did.
I think I was laying down straight.
It was the toughest puppet to puppeteer, so thank God it was just a little bit.
Yeah, here's the. We didn't show. We showed the other puppets. We should show what Logan looks like.
How to get back to my normal self. I seem to be stuck.
Well, yeah, and you were doing my arms on that one I remember I was laying flat down and holding him straight up because he was big. He was and he was heavy. 'Cause he had like servos and stuff in him. And and so you were holding the other hand with me. You were such a good right hand because you kept it right, even with.
I'm glad.
With everything, I feel like you were like off to the side, or you were either laying down with me, or you were like off to the side.
Yeah.
Holding it like that. You learn really quick, like I want to see if I can find our little moment together of us at the end. And you gave both Adam and I a lovely little shout out.
Oh.
Amazing puppets. I've fallen in love with all of them. And they were all brought to life by Nate Begle. He came in and dedicated a whole day to make this video happen. Puppeteering is way harder than you'd ever think it would be. We realized very quickly we weren't going to be able to master puppeteering in the short amount of time we had to get this video up. So Nate stepped in, and Nate is wonderful at it. You can check out everything Adam's creating right here, and everything Nate has to offer right here at their websites. Thank you guys so much for making the video everything it was. It was awesome. I loved it.
And then here's our little...
My favorite part of the video.
There's Thomas.
Card? Yeah, because of our unfettered silliness. No, because it's almost over.
I was trying so hard.
What are they doing? It's a puppet bit. Just ignore them. Boy, I can't believe Thomas worked out another issue. Ugh, is there anything he can't work out? Yeah, his body.
Dude, I love it so much.
So good. So, thank you for hopping on. I'm sorry I can't